What up, doers? Welcome to my video. I appreciate you guys being here and I hope you guys will enjoy it. Now, before we get this video going, I gotta say I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not here to tell you or advise you on anything that you do, and this video is strictly for entertainment purposes. With all that being said, I do believe that if you could concentrate and fully grasp everything I'm about to tell you in this video, I think you'll have a full understanding of Bitcoin, where it's at, how it came about, where it could go, and all the speculation around it. So what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is a digital currency not governed by any body. So what does that mean? No government can print more Bitcoins, no government or someone can just put more Bitcoins into the system. There's a maximum supply of 21 million Bitcoins, nothing more, nothing less. Up until today, 18.5 million Bitcoins have been mined, so there is 2.5 million Bitcoins left to be mined. A maximum supply of 21 million Bitcoins in the whole lifespan of Bitcoin is very important because it's anti-inflationary. For example, the fiat, the dollar, right? The dollar constantly keeps getting pumped by the feds, especially as we've seen in the past year since the virus dump. So government kept pumping in, and I personally believe we haven't seen the dramatic effects of that as of yet. But you know, as we've seen in the past and historically speaking, every time inflation happens, the value of your dollar goes down. So a bag of milk that used to cost 50 cents will now cost $5. Bitcoin is literally the opposite of that. There's only a max supply of it. What makes Bitcoin different? So just like how the fiat dollar is printed by the feds, Bitcoins on the other hand are constantly being mined. So how do you mine a Bitcoin? Well, miners are people just like me and you who have these computer systems, strong computer systems that decode, since it's a current digital currency, these systems decode these things called blocks, part of a blockchain, which then once the block is decoded, the miner, the people that have these computer systems, will get rewarded a certain amount of Bitcoin. Try to understand as much as you can out of this following information, because I think it's super important to understand, because if you do, you'll start to see the opportunity that could be ahead of you. Currently, today, around 6.5 Bitcoins get awarded every 10 minutes that these miners are able to crack the block. But this wasn't always the case. When Bitcoin was first created on January 3rd, 2009, 50 Bitcoins were awarded to the miners every 10 minutes, compared to today when 6.5 are awarded to the miners every 10 minutes. So keep this in mind. From the inception of Bitcoin up until January 28th, 2012, 50 Bitcoins were awarded per block that was mined. But everything changed November 28th, 2012. Something called a halving took place, where instead of 50 Bitcoins per block mined, now 25 were being awarded. So it literally cut in half. The supply literally cut in half. That is very important, because the scarcity, the popularity, and the demand of Bitcoin may still be the same or grew even higher because of social media and all this and that. But the scarcity, the availability of Bitcoin cut in half. When this first halving took place on November 28th, 2012, Bitcoin was sitting at just $12. And the bull market, which is the shot up, the graph, right, the value increased. The Bitcoin was valued at $266, 21 times its value that it grew in just over a year and a half from the halving. After it shot up, it came back down, found its true value, and then kind of went sideways up until the next halving. Fast forward July 9th, 2016. Another halving, this is the second halving, which means the second cycle of Bitcoin took place. Bitcoin was sitting at $620, and in that cycle, right after the halving, right? The halving is what causes the value increase. Right after the halving, it shot up to $19,783. Now, with the second halving, keep in mind, it went from 25 blocks per 25 bitcoins per block awarded to now 12 bitcoins per block mined. So it went from 50 bitcoins awarded per block until 2012. 2016 were 25 blocks awarded per Bitcoin mined. Per block mined. From 2016 until 2020, which is the third cycle, 12 Bitcoins were awarded to the miners per block mined. I just hope you guys get around that a little bit of information. It's a bit tricky, but it's very simple once you kind of get the grasp of it. So now we are currently in the third cycle. This took place on May 11th or 16th of 2020. We went from the 12 bitcoins per block awarded to now just 6.5 bitcoins per block mined. So reward, once again, just like before, cut in half. Demand, popularity, still there, but the scarcity just got even worse. Even less availability for the masses, causing value increase like crazy once again. So as of May 11th, when the third halving happened, Bitcoin was worth around $8,000. Now, halfway, I believe, through the third cycle, Bitcoin went as far as $63,000 all-time highs in US dollars. That's absolutely insane. So now that you guys know what Bitcoin is, you know about the halving, you know where Bitcoin started and where it got to, you know that we're currently in the third cycle. Now let's speculate and talk about what it could be and where it might potentially go. When Bitcoin was first created, it had a value of 0.0008 cents, right? That was the value of one Bitcoin. And so far, we've been in 2 full cycles and currently completing our third cycle. In this time frame, from 0.0008 on January 9th, 2009, up until today, well, actually the all-time highs of the third cycle, it went up to $63,000. So from the all-time lows at the inception of Bitcoin to the all-time highs, Bitcoin has gained a value of almost 79 million times its worth. Guys, do you are you able to wrap your mind around the gains of Bitcoin and how far it has come and where you could have been if you were to just buy it on the first day of when Bitcoin was created? That's absolutely crazy. So now this is where it gets very interesting and very fun. Knowing that there is 21 million Bitcoin supply. Halving takes place every 3 to 4 years. This gives us an idea that the last Bitcoin will be mined in 2140. That's 120 years from now. In this 120-year timeline, 30 halvings will take place, driving demand and scarcity even higher. So guess what's going to happen? The value of each Bitcoin will absolutely skyrocket. Or at least that's what we think will happen based on the history of 3 cycles. So let's entertain the idea that Bitcoin will be around, the halvings will keep happening, the demand will keep rising. What will happen by the time Bitcoin comes to the end of its lifespan, like total lifespan, which is 2,140. If within 2.5 cycles Bitcoin went from 0.0008 cents to 63,000 American dollars within 2.5 cycles, and I gotta keep on saying this because this is where it gets mind-blowing. If between 2.5 cycles Bitcoin rose that much, what do you think will happen when we know or assume that there will be another 30 halvings? Where will the price of Bitcoin go? What can it do for you if it keeps going the way it is? I don't know. Pay for a new house? Basically beat any other investment option that currently exists? Look, I'm a believer in Bitcoin, and I hope that this information kind of opens your mind a little bit of what it is, how it works, and I hope it informed you enough so it encourages you to do more research and get a broader perspective on the information of Bitcoin and the topic of Bitcoin. It could be very important. So far it showed insane amount of growth, and many lives have been changed because of this one coin. And just a fun fact to keep in the back of your mind, right? When we're talking about scarcity, halving, and the value of Bitcoin itself, I need you guys to understand this, and this is what it's absolutely insane and could drive the markets even crazier. Currently, in today's date, around 1.5% of the whole global population is exposed to Bitcoin. So, if the value of Bitcoin is that high at just 1.5% of population that currently holds it, what's going to happen when it reaches 5% of the global population? What's going to happen when it reaches 10% of global population? These are questions you gotta question and entertain entertain a little bit, just because then it kind of shows where the potential of where it could be, where it could go to, and something to keep in mind. Whether you want to enjoy and take part or not, that's totally up to you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I gotta end it off by saying, once again, this is not financial advice. This is strictly for entertainment purposes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, subscribe, and like always guys, I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.